Welcome back to another episode. I don't think we can show that. I don't think so. Welcome back to another episode of the Just Because podcast, where we talk about topics just because. I'm Merp. That's Cheeto. That's B. Together, we're the cousins. Hop right into it. First, before we get started, if you're a dude who loves Jesus or is curious about Jesus
Christ,
enjoys watching sports, movies, food, and business, you're in the right spot. So, new episodes every other week. Links are in the description. We're going to be live in the chat, so we want to be hearing everything that you have to say about the debate topic that we have coming up. This episode specifically, we're talking about, is college worth the investment? And we're cracking open Matthew 5. But first, we have to talk about March Madness. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. We have to talk about that. Where do you guys want to start?
I keep thinking of, we were sitting, all got lunch one day, sitting watching that Kentucky game. Who were they playing? Santa Clara?
Santa Clara,
Clara,
like
yeah.
15 seed or
2 buzzer beaters in like 5 seconds. That was incredible.
It was funny. It was
You could tell everybody was rooting for Santa Clara though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's
And then
that's why you watch March Madness, is for the upsets. I mean, nobody really wants to see complete dominance, right?
I mean, we kind of talked about that last time, right? Is there going to be complete dominance? And we still had some upsets. I mean, obviously, none of those really went far, but I mean, you have a 9 seed in the Sweet 16.
11 seed. Texas beating
yeah.
Gonzaga.
Are you more happy about Texas or Iowa?
I'm
we have to talk about this.
I'm blessed by all of it. I got 2 teams to
incredible.
root for. It's unbelievable.
Okay, yeah. So
2 first-year head coaches of the new teams, which means my teams used to suck.
Who's
That's
Texas coach? Buzz?
No, Ben McCullum
Who's
from
that?
Drake,
I don't know
Northwest
who it is.
Missouri State, like 3 natties, moves up to Drake,
really,
wins
That's
a
that
game
guy.
his first year in the NCAA tournament at
You're
Drake.
talking about Iowa, right?
Correct.
Oh, I'm talking about
Sean
Texas
Miller
coach.
is the former Arizona coach, Xavier coach.
He's good.
Moved to Texas, brought Xavier to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, and also Arizona.
on the topic of coaches, you guys see the news? North Carolina coach gone.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he's chips.
He's gone.
Well, did you see his interview? He was like,
No.
they're like, what went wrong in that game? He was like, I don't know.
I really can't tell you.
I can't tell you. We just missed our free throws. I can't tell you. That's when you know your job's done, buddy.
You think it was?
He
just
probably ready
not
to be
into
done.
it?
It was chips.
I don't think he was ever actually good. I mean, North Carolina is one of those blue blood programs that if you do not win in the tournament, you probably don't deserve to be coaching at that level.
Yeah.
With the talent in the team.
You gotta have banners.
Same with Duke, right?
Same
Murph
with Duke.
Got a lot of heat about that, but
I am catching some strays about that Duke comment that I made. Is he on the hot seat? But I'm standing right by it. I mean, they want banners in North Carolina.
yeah,
That's it.
I think they might end up winning it all, and Coach Shire probably saw it. I mean,
Probably.
and that's gonna be motivation going forward.
We'll have our PR team reach out to him and see if he'll come on the Just Because podcast. We'll see.
I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, we're sponsored by Dr. Pepper, and
Yeah. not quite yet. Number 9, Iowa stuns defending champion Florida. We got to talk about that.
that was unbelievable.
Like the Florida coach put together a horrible game plan and absolutely got out coached in the game.
Expand on that.
Well, when you have a player on your team that's 6 or 7'9" and nobody on the other team is above like 6'10", I think that's, to me, a bad game plan.
They didn't play him, right?
No, well, no.
Was he not that good?
They have bigger, stronger players. They got beat up on the glass. That's a mental thing. When you get beat up on the glass and you're bigger and taller, and
That's
Iowa's shorter,
unbelievable.
and they had more points in the paint, that's like a physical mentality. Mentally, you got beat down.
And Florida didn't really hit any threes, did they?
They were ice cold in the first half. That's
Yeah.
what allowed Iowa to stay in the game, because Iowa's not like a high percentage shooting team. Like,
Well, they left some guys wide open, and Iowa knocked them down, right? Like that got cut.
Cooper Koch,
their
he
best.
gave him the gator chomp after the game.
I saw that.
in the line, in the handshake
that's
line.
lethal.
That's hilarious.
Dude, have some feel. Act like you've been there before.
They haven't. They actually haven't
Act
in
like
a long
you-
time.
I know, but act
They
like it is
have
the
it.
key word. St. John's Thriller with the buzzer beater, high points. They had a 12-over-5 upset.
Yeah, number 12 versus number 5.
That was crazy. Who's that kid that was shooting lights out?
Some white boy.
Some white boy Christian.
Shout out the white boys.
Shout out to the white boy Christians.
Yeah, what was the stat? It was his first layup of the year.
I don't think it was that guy, but the guy who scored the game-winning bucket on the outlet layup where he laid it in.
Yeah.
It was his first 2-point field goal of the year.
That's a crazy
You gotta
stat.
tip your cap to that. Dude's flinging up 3. Who was the guy that was literally like just chucking the ball up and it was going in?
Who? Jimmer Fredette Jr.?
It was literally like he was flinging it up there and it
Yeah.
was going in. That was sick.
It was
And they
catch,
don't-
shoot.
And they almost beat Arkansas, right? Was that the next round?
Yeah, they played that game well, too.
I
Played
mean,
really well.
We got to talk about What did the High Point coach say? Did you see that? I mean, you got to let
the
some of these
mid-majors.
Yeah, you got to let some of these mid-majors play some of these other ones, because if they don't play anybody, it's like they're not going to let them in.
Yeah, it was really the Miami of Ohio situation this year where they went undefeated the whole year and they barely made the tournament because their schedule and their strength of schedule. But it's not their fault because they're in a conference. They can't choose who they play in their conference.
Exactly. I think he makes a fair point.
But people like the good teams, the bigger schools, the Power Four, they're not going to want to play that because it's technically a lose-lose.
Yeah, they don't gain anything from it.
Really, you're supposed to beat them by 20.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was the same thing in baseball. Like a lot of these good teams would schedule people and then they're like losing in the midweek and it's like hurting them.
Well,
like it's like
right, it's their RPI or whatever.
They're just whatever they use in college basketball. But it's like, all right, we can't play those guys anymore because somehow we just lost.
Yeah,
and it's not good.
Yep.
VCU, massive second half comeback. That was absolutely electric. That's why people watch March Madness. You got to play the games. 11 seed Texas rules the weekend. That clearly Bmac wrote that.
I mean, they're the biggest Cinderella. If you can call Texas a Cinderella story.
Not with that coach, but it's pretty cool.
They were from the first four. They went almost 500 this year. It's one of those situations where they have really good players, really talented team, couldn't put it together the whole year.
Yep.
And now it's finally rolling.
It just goes to show when you have a veteran coach in the postseason, you can make any sort of run.
Right.
With Sean Miller, I wouldn't call it a Cinderella. Pretty cool.
I mean, look at Freddie Hoiberg, the mayor.
I got Sam Hoiberg going maybe first round. Dude's goated.
Speaking of goated or not goated in this case, there have been multiple terrible missed calls. And one of them was in the Nebraska game and one of them was in the Iowa game. One of them, Nebraska committed should have been a double dribble. And the other one should have been called against Florida.
I don't think anybody noticed it in real time, the double dribble.
The thing about that is, didn't they win by 2?
Yeah. I honestly thought Nebraska was getting gypped all game by the refs.
Let's see what this looks like here.
Basically a home game for him.
So bad.
What was he trying to do?
I think he took his eye off the ball. Look, you can kind of see him take his eye. Look, he's like looking back.
I think he went to gather right there. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not at the rim yet.
But he's calling it in the background, too. He's calling it. Hold on. This guy right here. Watch number 5. Watch him.
I mean, the real question is, how do you miss something that's so like the one guy with the ball?
Oh, I didn't realize it was 14 minutes left. I thought it was like 2.
Yep.
That is crazy, though.
They lost by 2.
And then we got to show this one here. This one committed by Florida.
This one's just funny. I mean, this was a football match, basically.
Any audio on this thing?
Boom! Jeez. What happened?
I think that guy from Florida is one of their...
There's the audio. There's no audio.
One of their big guys. I think he had like 1 point and 5 fouls. Like he was just hammering people.
That's just what he's supposed to do, right? That is a bad call. I mean, would it have really affected the game if they would have called anything?
Here's the problem though. When you let stuff like that go, the game gets chippy. Because when you allow things like that to happen, then people start doing more and more and more.
Oh, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
That was a good no call when he was trying to punch the ball.
Well, that's because the refs started to allow stuff. So stuff like that, like to me, it's not this one, but you know about the punching situation in the game, right? The equivalent of that is like when somebody's running out of bounds in football and you just smoke them 5 feet out of bounds. It was a held ball. The whistle's blown, and the guy throws the player to the ground. Just unnecessary.
Yeah, but I will say being a referee is tough. Especially when you got stuff like this going on. This is AJ. I don't even know how you say his last name.
Diabanza from BYU.
Diabanza. Watch this.
Dude, how does his neck even go back that far?
Watch. Look, you can see the separation.
I mean, he got nicked, kind of.
I don't even know if he got nicked.
Maybe he didn't. But
dude, nothing. It looks like nothing happened.
Did they call it?
So I will say this about the refs.
Now remember,
there was a stage where they started calling technicals and like personal fouls and everything. Now at least they're reviewing it and getting it right. Sometimes.
Yeah, that's good.
Like they didn't call this a flagrant. They went to review it, said it wasn't a flagrant.
Yeah, look.
I think it should be a flagrant on number 3. He should be like.
Watch from this angle. You can see.
Oh, he didn't even.
What a great acting job, though.
I mean, he
definitely sold. Here's what happens if you were to call that a flagrant foul for him doing that after you reviewed that.
Yeah,
that would no longer happen in your sport anymore because you get penalized for it.
Right.
If you don't do that, things like this will continue.
Yeah, I think you got to do. So you think the BYU guys should have some sort of flagrant, or it should be like an intentional flop or something?
If you don't put regulations on that, it's in their benefit to do that, and nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion.
Nobody wants to watch that. And speaking of things that nobody really wants to watch, or I guess some people watch, some people want to watch it. I have a question about, does the prop betting, what do you guys think of the prop betting? Does that make the game more fun to watch, or is it just annoying?
What are you saying? Online betting?
The prop betting
Define
specifically.
What does that mean?
Define it.
The prop betting is where you've got, from my understanding, I don't personally do it, but you've got 4 or 5 different bets that if you can hit them all at the same time within multiple games, then you win the pool.
That's called a parlay.
Yeah, parlay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fun. That is fun.
I have to say, it's pretty funny watching people absolutely melt down
because they freak out like in the middle of the game when nothing matters.
I was watching Tyler was who I was watching it with, and he's like, he needed this one guy to.
It's always the one guy.
Yeah,
he needed this one guy to get in and have 11 rebounds, and he hadn't seen the floor all night.
That's a lot of rebounds.
No. What kind of what a terrible bet.
It was something like that.
11 rebounds.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong about the stat, honestly, but he needed to come in the game, and he hadn't seen the floor all game. So Tyler was just freaking out.
Who was it?
But
who
then,
was it?
But then I don't remember who the team was.
Was it college?
Yeah, it was college. But I want to say it was maybe Kansas. I could be wrong. But then he read the fine print and was like, what happens if this player doesn't get in? Then that eliminates the bet. And if he wins all his other ones and that person doesn't get in, he still wins. Oh. So now he's rooting for that player to never touch the floor. If the player touches the floor,
I've never heard that.
He loses.
So what happened?
I think he won. I think he ended up winning because I don't think that player touched the floor. But
dude,
isn't that?
It's like the game within the game.
It's the game within the game. I think it's funny to watch people just absolutely melt down,
freak out, or get so excited.
Yeah, because they're bet. What's the story with Carson?
Oh yeah, so Carson, my buddy, bet on the Nebraska game. We were there watching it, so we put a bet in, and somebody had to hit 2 threes. It was Frager or something, and he was like 0 for 8. We were freaking out. They 30-balled him in the first round, and then there was like 2 minutes left. They should have taken him out, and he was just bombing up threes, and Carson was like, "Oh my gosh." Hits his first one. Oh my gosh. That he should be taken out.
Yeah.
It's 30-point game.
The game's over.
It was like 2.5 minutes. Shoots another one and bangs it. They're up by 30 and he's like, yeah. I just won $300. So it's like the game within a game.
Yeah. That's
kind
fun.
of funny.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like looking around like, what is this guy freaking out about? This game's over. Pretty funny. I'm not a big bettor. He actually got me like some free play or something, and I was throwing some in there. It's kind of fun. It's like the game within the game.
Yeah.
Have you ever bet?
Well, I feel like that's
besides
the
the craps table.
Gamble a little bit. I don't sports bet. I feel like that's the way to lose all your money.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. In those parlays, the reason why I think people love them so much is because you bet such little money to win so much.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you get that jolt of energy.
It's like 10 to win. It's like 10 to win 150 sometimes.
But like 7 things have to happen. Yeah. And it makes you watch the sports that you maybe would never watch.
Dude, it's so crazy how close they get with all these stupid spreads and stuff.
Oh my
like
God.
Carson would have like my buddy would have like the over under on the points, and it's like it would be over by half a point. Like, how do they get that correct?
I have no idea.
Vegas rigged.
Vegas is rigged.
Or they're just, I don't know how they do that. It's unbelievable.
So before we move on, we have to talk about AJ. How do you say his last name?
Budabati?
Like Diabanza. Diabanza.
Yeah, Diabanza. So he's at BYU. He drops 35 points and BYU loses. It's the second most points ever scored by a freshman in NCAA history. And now he's gonna go to the draft. Should he have even been at college at all?
Yeah, he should have went somewhere better, though. Why was he at BYU?
I have no idea.
Cheddar cheese.
Do they have cheddar?
Oh, they're like top 10.
Oh, yeah. That's
really?
A good point.
Yep.
I would do that. Well, college now is different. It's like basically he's a professional. I mean, some people make more in college than maybe they would in the.
I think it's actually more. If you're that good, it's more.
Well, there's no regulation in college, so
yeah. If you're Caitlin Clark, you're making more in college than
That's true. That's true. So you got to be strategic about where you go to college. It sounds like.
Yeah, and what kind of deal you can get and how much money you can make. It's like basically the pros. I mean, shouldn't they sign like contracts or something?
They should. I don't know why they don't. We're probably not smart enough to know that.
I heard Rick Pitino talking about it. Did you guys see that? He was like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it, not because I don't love to get good players, but like we're trying to like run a meeting here to get better. And I have like coaches in my ear saying, hey, this guy might be available from Duke, or this guy's going to the portal. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to focus on our team. And it's like, there's people flying around everywhere.
Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. They need some regulation. I know we've talked about it before.
So on the topic of that AJ kid and probably, shopping the market, being strategic about what college he's going to go to, we're going to use that as a trampoline to kind of transition into our next point.
Hold on. Are we talking about college? Is college worth it?
Yeah.
We got to talk about Nebraska, Iowa.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Is that the biggest game in the two schools' history,
it's
or
really
what?
just the most unbelievable, unfathomable thing that's ever
hilarious.
existed in the sport of college basketball. Because number one, for people who don't know, Nebraska's never won a game in the NCAA tournament. Yep. They got matched up with a team called Troy, who some say is was the worst team in the field, but it doesn't matter. They did what they had to do, and they blew them out. Then they move on to play Vanderbilt, who's got really good guards. They beat
Florida.
No, I'm talking. This is Nebraska. They beat Vanderbilt. The half court shot.
That was unbelievable.
Everybody's life flashed before their eyes. It went in and out. They move on to the Sweet 16 for the first time ever. Crazy. Iowa, first year head coach. When you're an 8-9 seed, you ain't thinking you're going far,
dude. I've said it. I said it a long time ago. I thought Iowa was solid. Like I thought they were pretty solid.
They're solid. They just play the game a little bit different, which I think kind of, if you haven't seen that, then it kind of flusters you a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to Florida. Clemson plays the same way. They matched up well with them. Then you play a team like Florida where they're just skyscrapers, defending national champs, and they win Sweet 16. I mean, that matchup is going to be crazy.
That's hilarious. It's a rivalry game, obviously, Iowa and Nebraska, but it's like whoever wins, it's like the greatest day ever, and whoever loses, it's probably like the worst loss in your school's history.
So the question is it good that they're playing? As a fan, you're either going to be on ulti high or ulti low.
They said there's going to be a civil war. It basically is a civil war
trophy for the Sweet 16.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think just whoever set that up is amazing. It's going to be great for just March Madness in general. I mean, they're going to sell that place out.
Well, it'll be 80% Nebraska fans, I would imagine. They travel really well.
Yeah, I don't know how people can just go down there for 5 days at a time and just stay down there. I went down there for 1 day, but just drained
not even a full day.
Yeah, not even a full day. It's incredible. That is a sight to behold, though. Those Nebraska fans, and they care so much. But there was like 12,000 people roaming around down there. It's unbelievable. I don't understand how.
In OKC,
it's like every hotel lobby we walked in to go pee, and it was just like 200 people sitting there drinking at like 8 a.m.
That's crazy. So who you got, B?
My pick?
Yeah.
I would like to say the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think that it depends on who. I mean, obviously, whoever shoots. If Nebraska shoots well, they'll be tough to beat.
So Iowa beat Nebraska earlier in the season.
Iowa's got their number, right?
They played twice?
Correct.
So it's 1-1. Okay.
Yeah, the second, both at home, right? Iowa played at home and won. That's where the coach punched the kid's phone out of his hand.
Yep.
The next game, it was like kind of like getting out of hand, and then Iowa came back and went to overtime, and Nebraska ended up winning that game. So
it's anybody's game then,
all
right?
2 games that have been played, I feel like, have been bad basketball. Like nobody can score. Everybody knows what everybody's going to do. The defense is there. The coaches are really good going against each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be like a Roman civil war.
Yeah. Well, we can only hope. I mean, what about Nebraska? Or what about Iowa? It makes Iowa so hard to beat because clearly they're tough to beat. I mean,
like their best player didn't even shoot that well, right?
He hasn't scored his average in like the past 6 games.
That's crazy.
Like, because during like the middle to the end of the year, it was like, well, you stop him, you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
Right? So people double teaming him, they're scheming him up, they're doing everything he's got to do. He hasn't been shooting well. But what he does do, like what he's done in the tournament well, is even though he's not scoring, he's facilitating the basketball really well. So like he's getting people involved. Like people
shots.
Who are scoring that don't usually score, right, are getting the ball. He's assisting, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
But he's a good basketball player all around.
You asked about why like people get frustrated. The way they play, they really intentionally wear down the shot clock, like to 5 seconds to 10 seconds before. So you're just running around on defense trying to guard these guys, and they're just running in circles. And
you think they do that on purpose? Like they're just.
I think he intentionally does that. As a fan watching, like personally, I think that because of that, they oftentimes get really bad shots because of the way that they play.
It's like all or
but
nothing
it does wear them down because
not a lot of flow, and then you get towards the end of the shot clock. And
they're just heaving up bombs because they're like, oh, wait till 10 seconds, and then they don't, and then someone guards them, and then it's 4 seconds, 3, and then you got to heave up a fadeaway.
Well, yeah, I mean. Him to give that up right there on that curl. I mean, why did they doubled him? I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but
I think my theory about the Florida game is that the Florida coach played such a long year last year and they won the national championship. He was ready to be done. That's my theory.
Really?
I mean,
because they played so terribly.
No,
that's not real. But like, think about it. The way that game was schemed.
He's rage baiting.
I'm not rage baiting, but like, I watched the full game. I know Iowa. I know Florida. Like, even the last play. Did you hear what the coach said?
Mm-mm.
After the game, we tried to foul him. Iowa shot about.
Oh, I did hear
What the
that.
heck?
It's because they shot 50% free throw. They were going to lose. Iowa was going to lose because they couldn't make free throws.
Wow.
And he said, foul him. And then
Well,
you get
They're
the
only
play.
up 2 though.
Why are you face guarding? You're face guarding so the guy can run around
Right.
you. Free.
That's okay. So Cooper, why was that a terrible job on the defense of Florida? Can you break that down for us?
He left a wide open shooter with 4 seconds left.
Well, but
to
also
win the game.
in that situation,
And it's you make him catch it going towards the other basket.
Correct.
You don't let him go.
correct. You don't let him
Oh.
exactly what he did. You don't let him get momentum going towards their hoop.
Yep.
But that's the coach in the timeout. There's a timeout. You have to say, guys, we're up by 2. A 2-point doesn't hurt us. We're going to OT. They were going to win
Right.
the game if they go to OT.
So that's why they were trying to foul.
Well, they're going to foul. They probably would have won because they would have went 1-1. And
Right.
But you never. Why would you intentionally foul to possibly have a tie game? Like what?
I don't know.
because the free throw shooting
They
was
just
so bad in the
banking
game.
them on them missing one free throw. That,
Correct.
Like, they were just so confident they were going to do that. That's crazy.
I mean,
I don't know.
What
That's
he
a bold strategy. I don't know that I would do that. I
I've
would
never
just
heard
not
that.
have my guy trail
correct.
the point guard.
and then leave the guy
Just
wide
keep him
open
in front of you,
Just keep
Yeah.
him in front of you.
and make him chuck a half quarter that rims out.
or goes in like the Kentucky guy.
Yeah. How about that Nebraska? The shot that rimmed out
From
That is-
Vanderbilt.
oh my
the
gosh,
kid, is his
dude.
last name Tanner?
That kid played
Something
out
like
of his
that, yeah.
mind.
He
That was
he
crazy.
played really
made it.
well.
He thought he made the shot.
I mean,
Oh,
it literally-
I thought he made the shot.
Somebody froze it, and the ball's like this is the rim, and the ball's like in the hoop.
There's a guy on Twitter who like ranks the ball inflation.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
That's a theory. That's a real theory. So Carson and I went down to watch. Every third shot when they were warming up is bouncing off the rim and hitting off the shot clock. The balls are overinflated.
Yeah.
Somebody called Tom Brady. It's a real thing.
The balls are overinflated. What does
And
that
I
have to
think
do with?
The
Deflategate.
I
Got
think
him.
the surface of the ball has changed to be more rubber bouncy ish instead of that. It's almost it used to be a little leathery ish.
Yeah.
Plus the inflation causes stuff like that.
Dude,
Is it a Wilson?
No, they
could look it
changed
up.
it to something else. It's not a Wilson. It might be.
Might be.
Dude, we just can't escape inflation, dude. It's everywhere. Everything.
Is there anything else you want to cover on Nebraska ball? Why do
No.
you think Nebraska is so hard to beat?
Well, if they shoot it well, they can beat anybody. If they shoot it poorly, they can lose to High Point University.
High Point's good.
High Point's good. So yeah, they're kind of streaky with their shooting. I
Okay,
mean,
so
like,
if they shoot it, they're good. If they don't, they're bad.
The
You
thing
agree,
is,
B?
So the
yeah,
Creighton-
of course,
Creighton
if they,
2.0.
of course. Well, here's the difference. Here's the difference. When they shoot it well, they're going to beat almost anybody. But the reason why they've been doing good in the tournament is because when they don't shoot it well, they
Thanks.
actually have some guys that have been stepping up and getting 2-point buckets. Frager can drive to the hoop, and little Sammy, tiny little Hoiberg can sometimes.
little Sammy.
You know he's a
dribble.
twin.
He just
Yeah.
dribbles straight to the hoop, and he's 5'5", and then they just let him shoot it, and he gets a wide open layup.
Can we talk about this too? Why does he get so many offensive rebounds or rebounds in general?
is
Because
insane.
rebounding has nothing to do with how tall you are or how physical.
I
all
mean,
hard.
I think
I don't think so.
It's kind of luck sometimes, but
sometimes I would say it's more luck, but I mean,
It's
you can't say
definitely
you
some
can't.
physicality.
Yeah, you can't say size has
Gotta-
zero impact.
No, not okay. I'll rephrase it. I think that if
it's
you're-
not the most important thing.
correct. If you're 5'5", like honestly, it's really just a heart thing. Like,
How tall is he?
like 5'5".
he's 6'5". He's 6 foot.
He's got to be.
He's
6
listed.
foot.
Merp.
Well, I mean, I can look it up. But
Well, Merp's 6 foot, so he might be 6 foot.
I mean, I'm watching Texas. I'm watching Texas in the tournament. One of their best rebounders is a 6'1" guy who can jump out of the gym,
Yeah.
and he's the dirty work guy that can go get the basketball. Not our 7'2" center.
Right.
He does
Yeah.
rebound good, but the other guy also does. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's really, do you want to go crash the boards, or do you want to shoot a 3 and just back up?
I hate
Right.
when
You know
I
what I'm
hate when
saying?
the shot goes up and they just go.
Yep.
They just look at the ball, and then
Yep.
the guy goes right around them. That's how you get taken out. People do that though, and think it's regular basketball.
We'll move on if you're ready. So we're going to move on to our first debate topic, which is college worth the investment?
That's a good question.
Speaking of great questions, check out the
merch.
merch. We got hats here. We got t-shirts. Yeah, he's got one on. I got mine on. Comfort colors. It's
Quality.
high quality stuff. So just check it out. We got the link below. So the
You-
story behind that's a good question is Cooper says that a lot.
Didn't even know it really.
And
But if somebody asks a good question,
you gotta
That's a
call
good
it out.
question.
Yeah, you gotta call it out.
it's a good question.
You gotta recognize. Well, is college worth the investment? Who wants to go first? I'll
Merp.
go first.
Go ahead, Merp. Spit.
I'll go first. Well,
Wait, what do you mean? Is it worth the investment? School wise, career?
to the majority of people.
Yeah.
But you're talking.
Is it worth the investment to the majority of people?
You're talking about a degree, not like going to school for basketball.
I'm talking to the majority of people. So majority of people are not going for a sport.
There's a
But
lot
it plays
of
a
NCAA
factor.
athletes. There's
Yeah.
a lot of NCAA athletes.
Okay. Well, how do you want to do it? How do you want to frame it then?
Well, I mean, we can just go, like, I would say if I didn't play college sports, I feel like there was no reason to go to college. I mean, my degree has gotten me nowhere. It has not advanced me in it.
Well, what did you study?
Multidisciplinary studies.
Yeah. So you studied multiple things
with marketing and management.
Which is what?
But I have
what is that?
Sales, business stuff, kind of basic stuff. But my point would be, this would be my overarching thing about school. So if you're going to be a salesman, would you rather take a class on how to be a good salesman or go try to do sales? What would you prefer?
Me personally?
What do you think would be more beneficial? Would you rather watch a video of how to drive a car or drive a car and figure it out?
Well, I think that's kind of two different things, because it's one thing to experience it. I get what you're saying. It's one thing to experience it with your hands and actually do it, then watch it on a screen. But with sales, there's certain things that you can learn in college. Like, for example, who talks about this? He's on the Shark Tank.
Mr. Wonderful.
Kevin O'Leary talks about this all
Cuban?
the time. Mark Cuban, Kevin O'Leary, they all talk about this all the time. When you go to college, you take those marketing classes, you take those sales classes, you learn the lingo of these corporate tech people who are the big funders, they want you to at least be able to articulate and speak their language.
I can't believe you're taking this stance though, Merp. You were not a big college guy.
Hey, it's what I think.
Interesting.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I mean, kind of, but like, to me, I would rather be in real life scenarios learning that lingo than taking it from somebody that's
right.
Never
But if
done
you
it.
just walk up to somebody's door and you're like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Cooper."
That's literally how I learned. That's literally how I got better. I would help you in the summers and do sales.
Right, but you have to adapt. Like, you have to learn. And so what you do is you branch out and you find people that you trust and you are watching them and their strategies. And so that's why I'm saying
that's
that
the
when
best
you go
way
to
learn.
Like, when you go to college, they're teaching you this lingo. They're teaching you human behavior.
Yeah, but
they're teaching you how to sell.
I think
whereas
majority of college courses are not doing a very good job of it.
As far as, so I get what you're saying about, so you're talking about developing the skill of sales.
Not specifically sales. It can be anything. We took marketing classes. We took entrepreneurship.
But right now you're talking about sales in particular, right?
Sure. Yes.
So what I'm saying is for learning the skill of sales, in my opinion, it's better for you to go to college because you can learn that lingo. Now, maybe it might be a different argument for you if you want to make money. Entering the sales force might be more beneficial because obviously with college it costs money to go to college.
Yeah, it's not worth the investment for me. You're talking about learning the lingo, but to me, I felt like I learned it better not listening to somebody that had never done what I was doing before. They were just telling me like the basics of how to pitch somebody and how to get your, main points across. But in the real world, none of anything they ever said was like, oh yeah, I remember learning that. That really helped me. It just never happened ever.
What do you think, B?
When it relates to that business stuff, I never took like many business classes though.
Yeah.
But when it relates to that, I think I kind of agree with you to an extent. Like, you have to learn that lingo, but also I wouldn't even consider it like classes. I would personally, if I was doing business, I would want to do more research on what like my target audience actually wants, what they need. Like that kind of stuff. Like, It's one thing to learn the language, but also like if you're selling people stuff that they don't want to buy or don't have any interest in, you're going to have a hard time doing that. So it's more of like background knowledge and research. I can't really speak to the classes because I never really took them, but
yeah. Right. I just think generally speaking, whatever the industry is, like I just think of like how I individually learn something. Do I learn how to make a table out of wood by watching a video or like trying to figure it out? Like I learn better when you figure things out.
Trial and error. You're saying the trial and error. So your thing is you would rather go to a door, get turned down 17 times and then learn, okay, I actually need to do this instead of learning like a business class or something else and then going out there and getting turned down maybe 10.
Yeah, I think on my sales class of like we would do like these pitches and all these like scenarios, and then I was doing it at the same time in the real world, and I was like, this has nothing to do with what I'm actually doing in the real world. So it's like the correlation wasn't there for me. It wasn't worth it. Now for somebody doing an engineer, a doctor. I think that's, I mean, a lawyer, attorney, whatever. I mean, to me, school's a no-brainer. You have to have it. It's just, it's interesting. Like those big careers have the most student debt. And it's like, I mean, for some people, that doesn't make any sense. But for other people, it's worth the investment.
So let me ask you this, Cooper and B, if you could go back and, you know, you guys both played college baseball, but if that wasn't a factor, would you go to college or would you skip?
I would skip.
If baseball wasn't,
I would skip.
B?
Yeah, I mean they're not really relatable in the fact of like some,
because you're in sales and you're
correct, and some of the job and the job force and all that stuff, they regulate and they require things that you literally have to go to college for, which
you gotta go pay thousands of dollars to get.
Well, I would say, like, would you consider those high-paying jobs, like a doctor, a lawyer, things like that, an engineer?
Yep,
they're high-paying jobs, but also you have to pay higher tuition. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know,
yeah,
it depends. You know, you got to go to school for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid a bunch more, but you have a bunch of debt.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, it's that balance there. But
I've heard somebody say, like, yeah, my daughter just went to be a lawyer and she just went and bought, you know, has all these loans and she like can't find anywhere to be a lawyer. It's like,
well, that's I have some stats here, like high financial burden, like a con. So the average cost of attendance for a 4-year public in-state tuition is roughly $27,000 per year, with private being $58,000. So if you went to like a Vanderbilt,
yeah, it's crazy,
$58,000 per year. But on the other side, I mean, I think there's pros and cons to both. On the other side, like on average, college graduates earn 86% more annually than those who don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the job security thing. Like some jobs literally won't even like accept your resume if you don't have a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on field.
I think, and we kind of touched on this, how it's important to be strategic. We talked about that with that AJ kid who's a freshman who went to BYU. You know, he's kind of just shopping the market and trying to see, you know, where you can get the best deal. But it's also, you have to be strategic with what your degree is as well, because, you know, it's a small percentage of people who actually go into the NBA and actually are successful. And also another thing to consider is, what's the lifespan of an NBA player? What's the lifespan of a NFL player? You know, it's about 3 to 5 years, I think, for majority of them. And then you have the outliers like LeBron who have a fantastic career out of it.
But like the NFL has a pension, and if you get to the pension, you're set.
I think it's
like
3 or 5 years. Yeah.
I could look it up, but
I think it's 5.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I'm thugging it out on Scout Team for 5 years.
If you get hurt or something before that, you might want to have a backup plan.
Yeah, you might want to have a backup plan because, you know, you don't want to get out of playing and then just have nothing to fall back on. No ability to figure things out.
Yeah, my theory is that college is losing its value. You can argue back and forth about, you know, is it worth it? Is it not? I feel like the value is going down. Growing up, as we got older, it's easier to, like, there's so many more resources out there that it's like you can figure everything out. Everything is figure outable yourself. There's so much technology with AI and all this crap that it's like, it got to the point when I was in college where it's like, what is the actual point of this? Like, I can find the answers myself.
Yeah, but the argument to that would be is, like, that's what college is for. It's for, obviously, you know, you're learning things if you're going into professional field, the STEM. But a lot of people would say that specifically going to college is to teach you how to learn, to teach you how to absorb information, to teach you how to commit to figuring something out. So that's the argument against it.
Yeah,
I could almost disagree with that.
Go ahead.
I mean, college, like, it's a great experience.
Yeah. I mean,
repeat what you said just so I can follow up with it.
So a lot of people say that college is, the benefit of college is it teaches you
to learn,
to commit and learn how to learn.
I would argue that it doesn't really teach you how to learn.
Starting to do that less.
It teaches you how to get things done that you need to get done.
Yeah.
Right, but if you don't take the initiative to learn the information, you just plug it in a ChatGPT, then that's on you.
Well, I think a lot of people who've gone to college and are now 5 years out can basically say, I don't remember mostly anything. I remember 80% of what,
right,
that stuff I don't use. Like, I only remember 10%. So it's like, it basically teaches you to get that done, and then after that you kind of forget what you learned.
Yeah, I mean, as an engineer, do you still use stuff from college?
Yeah, but
more so
really what it comes down to in the STEM practice is, like, if you got a business degree and try to get an engineering degree, they would say no, you can't, because of these regulations by the state and stuff like that. So it really has nothing to do with how smart you are, how good at learning you are. You could be the most genius person ever, but they literally require you to spend money to take these classes, which is a different scenario. Like you can't even sit for the test if you don't have these requirements.
Right.
So
no, I think part of my frustration is, and I'll pull up this graphic. I'm kind of back and forth. I'm really undecided because I see the pros and I also see the cons, but I want to pull this up because I do feel like college and education has kind of failed. Let's see if this is it. Because, look at these numbers here on the amount of people who have taken a personal finance class. Over the last few years, the portion of high school students who take a personal finance course has increased. So it's increased. However, there are still large gaps in financial education. Below, we look at the percentage of students who are required to take a personal finance course. So as you're looking at this, obviously, the ones that are purple, it's 0 to 9% of students have taken a personal finance course.
That's crazy.
So what is a stock? What is taxes? What is a profit and loss statement? What is a mortgage? What is principal? What is interest? What are these basic things that when you're an adult, you need to know that they aren't teaching majority of the country?
That's a great argument.
So the follow-up question, the first one is it worth it? Whether you say yes or no, the follow-up question is, does college prepare you for the real world?
No.
This chart would argue against that.
Chart would argue against that because I think one of the most important, I think we all agree, I think one of the most important things is how to make money. And personal finance a lot of it is how to save money, how to keep money in your pocket and how to manage it. And this is alarming to me that majority of the country is not learning how to manage their money, how to keep their money.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's almost like there's a system in place that just wants people to show up, do what they're told, and fall in line, basically.
Correct. Well, allegedly. We don't know if that's true, but
it might be true.
It could be true.
Yeah, I think for kids our age, I mean, we're young adults now, but you get into the real world and there's things that you've never learned how to do, and it's kind of frustrating. Like, why did I just spend all this time and money growing up and there's real world issues that I've never been taught. I think there's certain things, stocks, finances, taxes, loopholes, whatever, that people don't want us to know. You have to almost figure it out yourself. So, and there's a reason that people don't want us to know that things. Investing, people don't, I mean, it's kind of like a secret to everybody. I mean, you got to pay somebody to figure it out. You almost have to figure it out on your own. I mean, that's frustrating.
And it's going to be very interesting here coming up in the next 5 years to figure out what AI does to some of those jobs. I mean, you're seeing AI like Claude from Anthropic. Pretty much, people are saying that it's going to wipe out a lot of white collar jobs, lawyer, investment banker. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they're claiming, that a lot of those jobs are going to go away because Claude can do it better.
The first ones I heard that are going to take away is like the front desk people, kind of like the management people, like the ones who can do the emails and all that stuff. Like, I think that AI is really good at that right now, and I think those may be the first ones to go.
Yeah, that new Claude thing Mason was saying can send you send emails for you and just
so you can give Claude permission to if you I believe it's Apple only, but you can give it permission to open apps and use apps. So I can go into Claude and say,
"That's crazy.
Send an email to Bmac, and this is what I want it to say. Press send. It'll open your Gmail. It'll click your email, and it'll send you the email that I want."
It's becoming more human.
I've seen Claude say, "Hey, here's my bank account password. Use this and do a program to start investing with my bank account with this X amount of funds, and like make the best investment of this, and this." And they give it all these parameters, and it's starting to make money for them while they're not doing that.
Send me that, please. So
can I get that?
Yeah, it's like making it more and more decisions for people. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I wanted to show this because this here is showing that clearly going to college, you make more money.
For having a degree.
So if you have a bachelor's, that's there in the yellow. If you have a postgraduate degree, that's in the green. But the bright green in the middle, that's the median. And then you see the high school grads in the red to the left, and then you've got the purple.
The next question is, which fields are going to start adopting it more than others?
Adopting what? AI? Oh, okay.
Like, is the medical field going to start adopting the AI robot arms to start doing surgery on people by themselves? Like, who's going to be doing it more than others? I would imagine things like business and marketing that are really doing it are going to push it. But there's some fields out there that really are like, we've done it this way for so long. This is how we do it. We don't want to change. I'm interested to see which ones go, which ones get left behind, stuff like that.
It's going to be very interesting. So in Nebraska, the median salary for someone who, let's see what this is. I want to make sure I say this right. The overall median earnings for somebody who lives in Nebraska are $51,000 right down here. If you get a bachelor's degree, on average, it bumps your salary up. And then if you get a postgraduate degree, it jumps it up another $23,000. If I'm reading that correctly. But then if you don't get a college degree, if you have a high school, it drops it by $10,000. So drops it from 51 to 41. And if you don't even have a high school diploma, that drops it another 14.
Yeah.
So I think the evidence here is saying that college does, whether you agree with it or not, college does indeed get you more money.
Yeah, I think it comes down to it being just a piece of paper that people see it and they're like, okay, this person.
With that, this chart shows that you're also capped at a certain, like, you're not making millions of dollars in some of these fields. However, if you didn't go to college, use some AI tech, did your own streaming, did your own marketing, did your own house service, like, you can, if you do that, you can get actually out of this
start a business.
Start your own business. Then you're like, the sky's the limit. But sometimes it kind of seems like, you know, when you get these degrees, you're kind of capped off. You're like, oh, well, we'll pay you $75,000, no matter if you're the best worker or the worst worker,
right?
Because you have this piece of paper,
right?
So it's like you're stuck,
right?
Which kind of stinks.
You can't move up and you can't move down. No, I mean, B, you kind of asked the overarching question, which is, you know, what are the degrees that pay the most, right? Is that pretty much STEM? I mean, what
it's
are
like anesthesiologists, which is the ones that like put you to sleep with? It's usually things with the most liability. Usually pay surgery. If you mess up a surgery, like, you're going to be liable for that, you know?
Yeah. So what are the high net worth people? What are their degrees? That's my question. What do they have a degree in?
Well, they started a business or they sold something for a lot of money.
Like, does Elon Musk have a college degree?
Yeah, I don't know, but he started a business which you don't need a college degree for. I mean, that's how I look at it. It kind of highlights Bmac's point. You know, they're not capped by anything.
Elon Musk does have a college degree at Queen's University for 2 years and transferred to Pennsylvania.
Really?
He holds 2 bachelor's degree in physics and economics.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos, Bachelor of Science in Engineering degree.
Somebody look up Charlie Kirk. He was a big proponent of not going to college.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I think his point was it doesn't make or break, you know, your intellectual level, because he would sit there and debate college students and he was way smarter than them.
It says he did not complete a college degree.
Correct.
So I think with that, he was like doing one, but then he kind of did his own thing.
Right.
Yeah, but that's to his point. You know, he'd sit there and debate college kids and he was way smarter than them at basically everything. His point is that college is a scam.
So with that though, like, you have to understand that going and creating your own business is probably way marginally more harder than just sitting at a desk and someone paying you the capped amount for you to get a college degree. So like, if you're willing to do that and work twice as hard, you can get out of that system. If not, go to college and get debt and then just pay it off over time. And it really depends. What's your lifestyle? What do you want to do?
Yeah. So generally speaking, I think college was designed for a world that doesn't really exist anymore. It's not that college is bad. It's just that we stopped asking why before we sign up for it. And that's a stewardship problem, if you ask me. You don't just go spend 40 grand without knowing the return on your investment. And that's that word stewardship. That's exactly what Jesus is talking about in chapter 5.
Matthew chapter 5. Yep.
Matthew chapter 5. Before we get into it, if you're still with us, like, share, subscribe, check out the merch. All links are in the description. Let's get into Matthew chapter 5 really quick.
I feel like Matthew 5, like, to somebody that maybe doesn't understand the Bible or like doesn't read the Bible a ton, it's kind of be like, whoa.
Yeah, Coop, give us a rundown on chapter 5. You're just,
first of all, what is it called? The Beatitudes?
Beatitudes. Beatitudes.
I'd never heard that before.
It's how to be.
How to be. So this is a Sermon on the Mount, right? And he's got his Beatitudes. I can list them if you guys would like.
Sure.
It's basically a set of norms, right? Sorry, I can't see my Bible. This is Jesus's longest recorded sermon. He began by describing the traits he was looking for in his followers. God blesses those who live out those traits. Each of the Beatitudes, what did I say? Beatitudes is an almost direct contradiction of society's typical way of life. Jesus even recognizes that a serious effort to develop these traits is likely to result in opposition. The best example of each trait is found in Jesus himself. If our goal is to become like him, applying the Beatitudes will challenge the way we live each day. Where does it list the Beatitudes?
So chapter 5 it's the introduction to the Sermon on the Mount. So Jesus saw the crowds. He went up to the mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who are hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. For they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for those who will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil things against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So going through the Beatitudes, it's what should be your attitude as a believer. So Jesus is telling each of us who believe in him how to act. Blessed are the poor in spirit. So what does that mean? You guys have anything on that?
That's the first Beatitude.
Yeah, I do. Poor in spirit, recognizing absolute spiritual bankruptcy, basically, and total dependence on God.
Yep. The poor in spirit recognize that they have no spiritual assets. They know that they're spiritually bankrupt. The kingdom of heaven is not given on the basis of race or earned merits, military zeal, or wealth. It's given to the poor, the despised, the prostitutes, those who are so poor that they can offer nothing to Jesus, and they don't try. They cry for mercy, and they alone are heard. So that's what it means by poor, because I won't lie to you, when I first read this, I was like, poor people? I don't understand this. So like, is this Jesus calling me to be poor? No,
but
it's saying that poor in spirit, like there's nothing that we can do.
This is nothing.
Right.
Like, none of this is nothing.
Right.
Like there's
nothing that we can do to earn Jesus's mercy.
Yeah.
He gives us mercy because he's kind and gracious.
It's almost like, it's like no matter how many times we go to church, right? It's like, It's never enough. And it's kind of, I don't know, sometimes it feels backwards, but it's like, we are literally not good enough ever. Nothing we can do will be good enough.
Yeah. Our nature as humans is sinful.
Yeah.
We want to sin. So we have to fight that. And we kind of talked about that with temptation. So that's why I think it's so important. You have to put yourself in situations not to be tempted. And it's crazy because we live in a world governed by evil.
Yeah, basically everything of the world is telling you to do the exact opposite of what these Beatitudes are.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's adding on to that. I feel like a lot of people in the world just say, like, as long as you're doing what you want to do, and as long as you follow your heart and be happy, you're probably going to have a good life. Yeah. But then people end up doing that. It seems like maybe they're empty. That's where this comes in. It actually doesn't say that. It says, these Beatitudes are kind of opposite thinking that way, which is opening to the mind.
Yeah.
People have never heard it.
I saw something that said, like, this guy was on a different podcast, but he was like, if you feel like you're depressed, he wasn't trying to invalidate people that were depressed or having anxiety or whatever, but he said, if you feel depressed or anxious, go help somebody and see how you feel afterwards. I've never heard that before, but it was a great,
because I'm not a doctor or scientist, whatever, when it comes to the mind, psychologist, but I think what that does, it actually releases your mind from thinking about me.
Yeah, you're so worried about yourself.
You release it and you actually think about something else.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said, worrying about, people get depressed. He wasn't trying to invalidate it, I don't think, but he was saying, quit worrying about so much about yourself, which is exactly what Jesus calls us to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that humility? Would that be defined as humility?
I think so.
One of the subscripts in here talks about humility, and I thought, is that the first Beatitude? Humility? Is that basically what it says?
I think it's down the list a little bit more. Talk about being humble.
I think somewhere in this
meek. That's meek.
Somewhere in this subscript I was reading earlier, it says that humility I think it says is the most important Beatitude. Now, I don't know if that's, I guess that's kind of a matter of opinion, but
we'll try to find it. We can come back to it. So the next one is, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Do you have anything on that?
Just mourning, deep grief over personal and societal sin, leading to divine comfort. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted.
Yep. Those who mourn over their sin and their sinful condition are promised comfort. God allows this grief into our lives as a path, not a destination. And we were kind of getting some heat because one of our other TikToks, people were saying, how does my cancer glorify God? How does why would God allow this to happen, essentially? And how does this glorify God? My sickness or my terrible situation and all these horrific things. And people are just like, how can this glorify God? God allows those things to happen. He doesn't cause them. I think that's the first thing to differentiate
Good
from.
point. Yeah.
But this is saying that grief, no matter how extreme it is a path, not a destination. And so when you come out of a hard situation like that, you're able to relate to people who have been in a similar situation like that in a way that no one else on the planet can.
That's fire.
And so you're able to reach them, and that's how God is able to reach them through you.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you thought nobody will ever experience this? Nobody ever know how I feel.
Yeah.
Well, if you experience one of those few things, it's a very strong chance that there's one other person on this planet who has experienced something like that, and you can be the person that helps them.
And once that happens to you, your mind kind of opens to be like, well, I just went through this. Maybe I can help somebody else who's going through this.
Exactly.
Right. And
that's awesome.
And I'm not excusing humans doing horrific things to other humans.
Yeah.
God gives us free will, and he gives us that free will because it shows that you as a human value God's relationship. And so we kind of talked about this before, but it's like you being in a relationship with your wife. How much more does it show that your significant other loves you if they choose to love you despite
being forced, or as opposed to being forced?
To being forced. So Gina feels, or I feel the love of Gina, even though she might do something that I don't like or say something that I don't like, or you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I would almost argue, this is just like a think outside the box question, but you could almost make the argument that love might not actually be love if it's forced. Is that
right?
possible?
Well, yeah, no, exactly.
If it's an arranged marriage or something like that,
right?
Like,
exactly.
They're not choosing you, so can that be considered love?
Exactly.
So that's the free will thing.
Exactly. No,
there's beauty in that. There's beauty in that. Like, you have to choose God. He's not gonna
force you.
Right. He's gonna try
because
sometimes.
we could have been all robots that go, we love you, God.
Everything is good. Everything is good. There's no evil, and therefore there's no reason for Jesus to even be here. There's why do we need a savior then?
Yeah.
If there's no evil to overcome.
That's good. I had a question. When we go to heaven, is it like us living our normal lives, but everything's perfect?
I have no idea.
Michaela said that she thinks when you get to heaven, we're all bowing at the altar to Jesus.
Well,
but like it's just over and over. Like it's just.
I think that's it's definitely.
That's what
you're always glorifying.
Yeah. You're always glorifying God. Yeah.
I think she's maybe right, but I was like, I don't know. Where she heard that?
It's beyond our comprehension.
It's beyond our comprehension.
But we can try.
People also say that you won't know like your wife or your siblings or anyone.
Yeah. Do you believe that?
I don't know.
I believe that.
I don't know. I haven't dug into it.
Because like dogs go to heaven too, and it's like you're telling me you're not going to see your dog in heaven. That's why you say I'll see you one day in heaven. I'll see you again.
I don't know.
I don't know that there's any evidence to point to dogs going to heaven, but in the ancient vocabulary of ancient Greek language, the meek person was not passive or easily pushed around. The main idea behind the word meek was strength under control, like a strong stallion that was trained to do the job of running wild instead of running wild. Does that make sense?
Come on, Merp.
So the meek person was not passive or easily pushed around. The main idea was that you had strength under control, like a strong stallion that was trained to do the job instead of running wild.
Mm-hmm.
So strength under control is meekness.
Yeah, that's what it means to be meek. That should be our main objective, right?
As men, as protectors of the house, as heads of the house.
Strength. That's such a fine balance to be strength but under control, because when you hear a lot of people's strength, like when you get that power, you
dominate.
You want to dominate and take full control.
Get over here.
Yeah, that meek is really something to strive for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a balance, because you don't want to be a wussy that it's not in control, and you also don't want to be an overpowering douchebag, right?
Right.
Is that to put it in like 21st century terms?
Yep.
I guess so.
Yep.
I think Jesus just put that on my heart. I think that's what he just told me. That's what he means.
Right. Well, it just goes back to, when you have strength, you can dominate people. Obviously, you have to meekness is your ability to overcome that.
Yeah.
That want to dominate other people, your wife, every situation you're ever in.
But that almost comes back, now that I think about it, to the poor in spirit, where you're actually nothing in spirit.
Right.
So why you think you're strong?
Yeah.
Because you're actually nothing. You give nothing.
This actually, you're saying that's kind of contradictory, right?
I'm actually saying that
kind
that's
of.
bringing me back to the first step.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It says, Jesus began a sermon with words that seem to contradict each other. I feel like sometimes I feel that. Like sometimes it's like, wait,
I
what?
don't know if contradict is the right word. I think it's just like.
It says this.
I understand that. It's a manuscript.
Yeah.
I don't think Jesus's words are contradicting.
But
I
it
think
does explain. Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe you should read what it says.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Say what
I
you were
was just going to say, like, I think sometimes they're just hard to figure out how they puzzle piece together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's conflicting.
The Bible never contradicts itself. What you need to be specific about what you think contradicts each other, because
he says
the Bible doesn't contradict itself.
Jesus' life certainly contradicted the status quo and normal way of living in the first century. If you want to live for God, you must be ready to say and do what seems strange to the world, or other people not understand.
Okay. So it's contradicting the world's normal.
It
seems like it's contradicting, but it's actually just contradicting with the world and what more normal people think. That's what that's saying.
Yeah. I feel like the Bible is like a lot of metaphor.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, like it's like.
Well, and you definitely have to dive into it because they're talking it's Greek.
Yeah.
So there's interpretation on each individual word.
Yeah,
so that's
otherwise
why
we'd all just go gouge our eyes out. Right?
That's actually in here.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if we're good, if we're doing what we're supposed to, then we should gouge our eyes out.
Doing what you're not supposed
to. Or if you're doing what you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but like, I mean, we all sin, so let's just go gouge our eyes out.
Right. That's not what that's saying.
Exactly. You really got to dive in.
Being meek before God is that you submit to his will and conform to his word. Being meek before men is that you're strong, yet also humble, gentle, patient, and willing to endure long suffering. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Why do they say meek and mild? Is that the same thing? Like to be meek is like a mild, like in control, basically, of your emotions.
In control of, your emotions. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure this scripture says if somebody slaps you on the face, give them your other cheek to slap as well.
Meek and mild describes a person who's gentle, quiet, humble, and submissive, rarely showing anger or asserting themselves aggressively.
Yeah. I think one of our questions we were going to pose is like, which one do we struggle with the most or something? I would say like sometimes we, as men, we just get so angry. Like I literally locked my keys in my house before this, but I'm getting better at it. But it's like we just have like pent up, anger, aggression. And it's like finding that balance of being mild and controlling those emotions and trying to use it for good more than letting it get the best of you. It's probably my.
Well, you just have to be in control. That's the thing.
Yep.
You have to be in control of your emotions. But moving on, so you have meek. Blessed are those who are hunger and thirst for righteousness. And blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You guys want to touch on anything else before we move on to salt and light?
I just think the righteousness thing really hits home in the Beatitudes.
Which one here? Blessed are those who are persecuted.
Yeah, I guess
because
there's
of
two, but more just the word righteousness and what that actually means. Because later on, one of the highlights of the Beatitudes for me is when Jesus says he's actually here to not undo any of the law of the Old Testament. He's here to continue that. And you kind of hear a lot of people and Christians say, well, it's the new day and age with the new Testament. It's, so if we want to dive into that a little bit, I think that's fascinating. I think it has to do with righteousness.
He says Jesus says that he's here to fulfill the law.
Yes, correct.
So I think the point is in him saying that is that a lot of the religious teachers of that time have misinterpreted the law and used and abused it at certain points. But Jesus is there because a lot of it is prophetic. A lot of the Old Testament is prophetic, and Jesus is there to fulfill those prophecies. I think that's what he's saying.
Can I read it, or are we going to get to that?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the fulfillment.
Where are you at here?
This is 17.
Yeah, 5. Yep.
The fulfillment of the law. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of a pen, with by any means disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. I'll just stop there. But yeah.
Is that referencing, that's moral law, right? My subscript is referencing.
Read your subscript. The law, from what I understand, is the
do not
Hebrew law.
do not murder, do not commit adultery.
Yeah.
That's the law, which back in the day, if you like in the Old Testament, I believe when you like did something against the law, you have to go do sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah, you got to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard this. Maybe you guys have. It's referencing 17. It's saying there were 3 categories of law: ceremonial, civil, and moral. Have you guys heard that?
Keep reading.
Ceremonial law specifically to Israel's worship. So this is pre-Jesus. Purpose was to point forward to Jesus Christ. These laws were no longer necessary after Jesus' death and resurrection. We're no longer bound by ceremonial law. The principles behind them, which are to worship and to love God, still apply. So I think that's the point there. Go ahead.
This was kind of the point. I found it in my notes, but the point of the righteousness, Jesus clarifies that he did not come to abolish the Old Testament, but to fulfill it in the way, like to bring it his intended goal and full meaning. He demands a righteousness that surpasses that of religious leaders by addressing the heart. So the law was like, do not steal, like do not do these things.
Right.
But he's talking about this, like the righteousness of the heart.
Right.
That's
like,
good.
Do not commit adultery, but don't even look at a woman like that in your heart.
In your heart.
It's different.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that posed like that. Because Jesus knows your heart, obviously.
Correct.
So it's like,
but do you get the point where it's like,
yes,
Old
absolutely.
Testament, don't kill.
Do not do this.
Yeah, do not do this.
Right.
And they're like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
And
but
now that Jesus
he's
is
taking
here.
it a step forward and saying, don't even look at somebody like that, because then you're actually committing it, even though you're just doing it in your heart.
Right, because it's a heart thing. The heart's more important, is what Jesus is saying, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah, it's like if you go to church and you're following the law of Jesus, but you're murdering people on the weekends, then it's like doesn't really.
Yeah, I think you're
not saved.
He's really.
Well, I think you don't even have to go that extreme. Like if you're just going to church, but you don't have a relationship with God, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's
basic terms, right?
What righteousness is having your heart be filled with Jesus and having a relationship with him. Salt and light. You're the salt and the light of the earth. But if salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You're the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people with a lamp put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Anything on that?
Makes me think about all of these people that have a platform, and as soon as something good happens to them, or maybe they're on a big platform talking to people, millions of people, you just give the glory right back to God, no matter who it is. I thought about the Iowa guy that did that. It's glory to God.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just so cool to see that.
Think about your heart posture when you have one of the greatest moments of your life happening.
Yeah, it's like,
and everybody's looking at you.
Yeah,
and the first thing that you say is, "Well, all glory be to God," because
it's awesome.
What does it come back to? The first thing in the Beatitudes that it talks about, where really you have nothing, even though you just won the basketball championship, you have nothing to give.
Yeah,
without him.
Yep, it's
powerful.
Yeah, it really is. Like when somebody does that, it really like lights a fire under me. Like, man, like it's not about you. Glory be to God.
Right. The world wants to put you on the pedestal as a human and just say, wow, look at you, look at you.
Great game.
And then what happens is you get overwhelmed. You get thinking about yourself. You start getting anxiety and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's all coming back.
Yep. That's good. I don't know what that's what the first thing that came to my mind when you talk about being the light to the world. It's like, all right, I got this platform, I'm going to use it and, just use it for good. Use it for good. Bring that to light right away. I love when people do that.
Yeah, I think probably one of the most important thing is that last verse there. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So your good deeds don't get you into heaven, but they exemplify who you serve.
That's good. And hopefully draw people near.
Right.
Him.
So you can't say I'm a Christian, but I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
That's the difference. In this verse right here clearly says that.
Yeah.
Good. So you've got the fulfillment of the law after that, which Bmac read, which is Jesus fulfilling the Old Testament and revealing that it's not about the things that you do, but it's the transformation of your heart. Then it goes into murder. Obviously, we don't need to dive too deep into that unless you guys have something, but you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you, anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment again. Anyone who says to a brother or sister, Raka, is answerable to court, and anyone who says, you fool, will be in danger of the fire of hell.
I think that's basically saying, like, all all sin is linear, right?
Some people say that there's a case that sexual sin it's the only sin against your own body, so therefore it'd be elevated. But yes,
I've always heard and read scripture that blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is really the one
yeah.
That's really the one that tops up. Because what does that mean?
Yeah,
that means you're basically going against God.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying that God is not God.
I just think it's saying like you got a murderer up here, worst of the worst, right? Whatever. Right. But it's like you are no better, really, is what he's saying, right? It's like I don't really care what you do. I mean, we're all imperfect. Like he almost sees it through the same lens. He sees it from like I've seen this graphic where it's like he's looking down on us. He can't. No sin is higher than the other. I don't know if you guys necessarily agree with that.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Think about it this way. I mean, what's a really bad sin? I don't want to say murder, but you could say murder. Okay,
murder. Yeah, just say murder.
What's one murder or 10,000 lies? One murder or 10,000
yeah,
steals?
It's like how can you? I mean, yeah.
We can't judge that, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, I think that's what that's saying is like you can't judge that. Like it's like it's all bad.
It's not. Yeah, it's not for us to judge.
It's not for us to judge.
Sin keeps you from heaven, being with Jesus. That's for Jesus to know and for Jesus to judge. For us as humans, our job is to exemplify who we serve by our actions. Adultery. You've heard it said you should not commit adultery, but I tell you, anyone who has looked at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than your whole body to be thrown out into hell. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than your whole body to go into hell. Anything on that?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. It's metaphoric, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
But basically do whatever you can to not even put yourself in those situations, right?
Divorce. It's been said anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you, anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality makes her the victim of adultery. So that means as a man, if you divorce your wife for anything other than sexual immorality, you are an adulterer.
I think it's crazy how they lay that out in the law like thousands of years ago. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's like right in here for everybody to see.
Yep. So again, you have heard it's been said to people long ago, do not break your oath, but fulfill to the Lord the vows you've made. So essentially this is saying don't swear to anything. Just do what you say you're going to do.
What does the last verse say in that? Because this is one of my big takeaways.
All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this becomes...
That's crazy.
That's a big takeaway
from the
me.
Evil one.
Because when, we're engaged, we're about to be married. You already got married. Some of these people have these extremely long vows and they go on and on and on. That's an interesting piece of scripture there.
Mm-hmm. Wait. What are you talking about? What do you mean with the vows? I've never heard that.
It's not about what I mean. It's what did the Bible just say?
Are you saying I swear to just love you forever? And
I don't know. This is an open-ended question. I'm just saying this was
good.
Like it says, just say yes or no that I'm going to marry you, and then the other stuff is from the evil one. Isn't that what it says?
I've never heard
that. It says all you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one.
Interesting.
I mean,
that's definitely a lot of room for interpretation.
I think the important thing here, a marriage vow is something different. This is saying don't go around saying I promise. No, this time, no, seriously, promise. Because this is Jesus talking about his disciples. He wants his disciples to act in a certain way to where they're trustworthy. And so I think that that's what this is saying is let your yeses be no, let your yeses be yes and your no's be no's. So just do what you say you're going to do.
Hey, whenever I don't know something, I always go back to the subscript.
My computer died. I can't read this script, but that's not specific to a marriage.
I don't think so.
It's not? Okay.
I personally don't think so. I think a vow is very important in marriage.
What does he say in verse 33? Keeping vows and promises is important. It builds trust and makes committed human relationships possible. The Bible condemns making vows or taking oaths casually. Giving your word while knowing that you might not keep it and swearing falsely in God's name.
So when I hear vows, we really only hear that in marriage. That's not referring to just marriage. That's referring to a vow in a relationship. Right.
Interesting.
Okay. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
An
eye for an eye. You've heard it said, eye for an eye and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take off your shirt and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go 2 with them.
Huh.
Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you.
So if somebody sues us, just let them take all our money or what?
Let's see what it says.
I mean, I think
Because it doesn't matter.
you're right. It's not even your money anyway.
Yeah,
so.
it doesn't really matter.
But that's a hard thing to do for the flesh. For the flesh of the world, like you want it to be mine. I sue you, you don't sue me. This is saying when somebody does something bad to you, show them that it doesn't really matter that much to you because it's not yours in the first place. It's actually God's.
Is that showing grace? Would you say show them grace?
It's showing grace, I think, but it also is like, well, I just slapped him in the face and he didn't get mad at me. What is this guy different? What makes him different? And then they start asking questions.
Yeah, show them that there's more to it than that. Show them that it's not about that, right?
Correct. But how hard is that as a human being?
Oh yeah,
how hard is that as a business person?
Yeah, our instinct is like if you hit me, I have to get you back. I just have to get
retaliation.
You back.
Yeah, it's a tough line to walk because it's like, when do you stand up for yourself and make him pay?
Yeah.
So it's a tough line to walk. I don't necessarily have the answer, but
yeah, and I think that's okay. I think it's good for us to just kind of like try to figure it out, but we're never
just pray about it in the specific situation. I'm sure you'll find like whenever that comes across,
whenever we are wronged, often our first reaction is to get even. Jesus says we should do good to those who wrong us. Our desire should not be to keep score, but to love and forgive. Yeah, it goes against our natural inclination. God's purpose behind this law regarding fair punishment was an expression of mercy. Yeah. I mean, Jesus is merciful to us, right? So we should pass that forward because 100%. Realistically, we all suck.
Yeah, and we should be slapped in the face.
We should be hung on the cross.
Probably.
So
yeah,
he's expressing to pass that along, right? Because really, who are we to judge people like that? I mean, we are so imperfect.
So about the suing. So if anyone wants to sue you and take away your cloak, let him have your cloak also. So under the law of Moses, the outer cloak could not be taken from someone. Jesus' disciples, if sued for their cloaks, the inner garment, worn like a suit, worn next to the skin, far from seeking satisfaction, will gladly part with what they may legally keep. Yet even in a country where justice can be had, we are not to resort to the law for every personal wrong. We should rather endure to be put upon than be forever crying out, I'll bring an action. So that's saying, again, just because somebody wrongs you, you don't have to do something about it.
Yep. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's like that's our natural instinct.
Yep.
I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I think when certain stuff like that bothers us, like, it's not right, that's good, right? It would be worse for me to slap you or you slap me and I slap you back and it's like I feel like I'm doing the right thing, right?
Elaborate a little bit more. Keep going. Yeah.
Like when we sin, like we feel guilt, whatever we do. And it's like that shows us like that actually, like even though it's bad, like we're doing something bad, but it's like I know I shouldn't do that.
Correct.
And that actually shows our belief.
Yes.
Really. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's like backwards, but
that's not backwards.
No,
that's
not at all. Love for your enemies. You've heard that it said, love your enemies and love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven, because his sun to rise on the evil. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? Sure. And if you greet only your people, what are you doing better than others? Don't even pagans do that. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect.
Okay, that's my last and biggest takeaway, is that last verse of this whole Beatitudes. Read it one more time.
It's almost like a mic drop.
Read it one more time. It's 48.
Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect.
Okay, we're not perfect. Jesus knows we're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he saying that? I feel like when he's running through this, he's like a coach. He's coaching us right now. And when your coach is just demanding so much in practice, be perfect, be excellent, don't mess up, do this. And then you get in the game and things happen and you kind of mess up. He knows you're going to mess up, but it's really kind of that demand. It's like that teaching and demand for excellence.
Be good. Yep.
But he knows you're going to fall short.
Right.
So you can't be perfect.
But it's perfect effort.
Yeah.
Yes. Give perfect effort. Give perfect heart effort.
Yeah.
But we know you're going to fail. We know you're going to sin.
It's kind of frustrating.
No, it's the pursuit of perfection.
Yeah.
That's what he wants, is the pursuit of perfection.
Knowing we'll never actually reach it. Like I'll never actually dunk a basketball, but I'm just going to keep trying.
Hey, you could get that the leg surgery that grows you 3 inches like people are getting. But
just kidding. I can dunk a basketball.
If anybody wants to challenge him, and
yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting. I offered to fly out and meet this guy in like Missouri, but he didn't respond.
So which of the Beatitudes do you guys thinks hits the hardest for you?
I think I said earlier I struggle. Maybe I don't know if struggle is the right word, but anger was one. Which one hits the hardest?
Yeah, which one sticks out to you as something that you would actually apply? That
I think humility is like, especially like if we deem ourselves to be successful in worldly eyes, right? It's like no matter what we do in life, the humility aspect of it is like the biggest one for me. It's like we are literally nothing. We're not important. We don't matter. Our primary goal, no matter what we do, is just to glorify him, because really that is what is lasting. Nothing else is lasting. So when I read that today, the word humility was the one that stuck with me, which would be what beatitude would that be?
I think meek.
Yeah.
I'll second that as like business person and man. Humility. I have two. I'll start with this one. Like sometimes in the world in business, they say, well, we'll do whatever you do to get your business off the ground, get it going, push people, argue with people. It's just business. But really, like the humility factor is like, is that really what you should be doing if it's not your money, your business in the first place? So that's the first one. The second one is really comes back to the first, about just you're nothing and God is everything. So
that's what I had.
What's the first beatitude?
The poor, being poor in spirit.
Yes, being poor in spirit.
That's good.
That's what I had too. Me personally, I justify myself too much. I feel like I'm more prideful than I need to be, and I think
you're more prideful than you need to be. What do you mean?
I guess I'm prideful. I
think we all are.
Just period.
And I think you're just him.
I'm just him. Like I just have confidence in myself, and I think sometimes that's to a detriment. I think sometimes I kind of look down on people, and it's not. I might come off as like I'm looking down on people because of the confidence and the pride that I have in myself, and I think I put too much of that, and I might portray that too much.
Yeah.
So I think that's something. That. Yeah, I think that's something that I'm daily fighting against, is like my personal pride, and really that hit me the hardest, because it's just like we're the poor in spirit are the ones who will endure the kingdom of Jesus, and the poor in spirit is the people who realize that they have nothing to offer Jesus. There's nothing that I can do, physically do, say, be, that will earn my way into heaven.
Yeah.
It's me realizing that like I am wicked by nature, and the only thing that I can do to get into heaven is Jesus showing me mercy and saying,
yeah,
I choose you to come into heaven because you chose me. You chose to pursue me in a relationship with me.
Yeah, that's good.
Very good.
I think some of the non-believers that I have actually talked to, I think that pride, like they view Christians as so prideful, and it's like, we're not people who believe in God, Jesus. I guess there's a fine line that we all probably need to learn, of just like, we're no better than, like, we're not saying we're better than you. We're trying to grow that. I don't necessarily know why non-believers think that. I have just had that reciprocated to me.
I think just like he said, it can oftentimes come off as confidence and prideful.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, you just kind of, it is confidence, and you're with the creator of the world, so you have that. So it's more like solidity foundation.
Yeah, it's like, how do you have the confidence without coming off as like, I know it all,
and you're better than
and you're better than that. Yeah, it's a tough line to walk.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think ultimately it's just to trust in the Holy Spirit, that, like that verse was saying before, that your actions will speak on behalf of Jesus, and that Jesus will speak through your good works and your deeds. And I mean, at a certain point, you can only do so much as a human. I mean, at some point you have to rely on Jesus. And I think that's the daily grind that we all have to go through, is, relying on the Holy Spirit to enter into our hearts and transform us.
And that's what it is like, at the end of the day, Holy Spirit, lead me. And the best way to hear from the Holy Spirit is to try to enter into that presence as much as you can. I mean, that's all we're trying to do. You try to get into that presence as much as you can to lead you through life, and everything else is just up to God.
And I just listened to a sermon. It's like, that alone time is great, but even the small prayers actually are powerful. When you're going about your day and you're busy, even the small prayers, when you could just take that 5 minutes, I feel like it's
5
so
seconds.
good to 5 seconds, whatever it is, like continuously small prayer, like whatever you have to do. I have to get up to go fill gas up. God, hang out with me while I'm doing gas.
Yeah, be present with
me.
Yeah. Protect me as I'm driving.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think that's good discussion.
That's good.
We're gonna keep chugging along as we're gonna go through the entire book of Matthew. So we'll do chapter 6 2 Wednesdays from now. And if you're still with us, we want to say thank you. If you got value out of this video, please hit the subscribe button. It shows us that you like our content, you care about our content, you're listening to our content. So please like, share, subscribe, follow us on all the socials. Everything's linked below. Share this last segment with somebody who needs it, because somebody needs it. And reach out to us. Leave us a DM.
Amen.
If you guys don't have anything else, we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Just because.